Alright, so we got our pieces all cleaned now. Now one of the things I wanted to point out, they're all up off the table using a little gizmo called a painter's pyramid. So you can see it's just a little pyramid shape. What's nice is the piece of wood just sits on that point, so it doesn't have much impact on whatever coating is on the bottom. I'll pick up this. There are 6 painter's points, 6 painter's pyramids under this. It'll support it and keep it off the table, and we can work that. Now, so we've got the material ready to go. It's all cleaned and up on the painter's pyramids. We're going to mix up our epoxy. This epoxy is a very, very thin, water-like epoxy, penetrating epoxy. It happens to be a 1-to-1 mixture. I've got a mixing cup here, same kind they use from automotive stores, etc. And I'm going to mix my second half of the epoxy in the pot, and I'll mix it up, and we'll begin applying the epoxy. You got to be sure as you're mixing to scrape the sides, scrape the bottom, so that you mix all the material and you don't have any material that is unmixed. Otherwise you won't have the epoxy go off, and you'll have a bad batch, and you'll have a real mess to try to clean up and remove. Alright, we've mixed our epoxy, and now we're going to begin to apply. To use for this particular application, I use these very inexpensive, they're called chip brushes. Not for me, because they're used for wiping away chips, but we're going to use chip brushes to apply the epoxy, and we're not trying to do a pretty job. We're trying to get plenty of coating, plenty of material on, plenty of epoxy to penetrate into the wood. And in fact, what we'll probably end up doing is we'll apply this, and we'll find that once we've applied it, it sinks right into the material, and we'll put on another coat. We can put on as many coats as we feel necessary to get the wood solidly sealed, particularly the edges of the plywood. We want to make sure we get lots and lots of material on there so that it sinks in and seals the edges of that plywood completely. So we'll do this entire piece, we'll do all the pieces, and we'll put on multiple coats. And once that's done and once it's dry, this epoxy will be sealed from the elements, sealed from water, and it will be great for using on a boat.